because her parents were so. Oh,
You're watching Weirdo Universe Wonders of Technology. I'm on,
I'm AJ.
and this is Weirdo Universe. And welcome to another weekend edition episode. As we know, just want to apologize once again. Our uploading will be quite inconsistent due to the fun weekend and work. But we're back. We're back together, and we're going to continue on of the Life is Strange series because you know what, life is just strange. And in this game, at least the first installment that got remastered a few years ago, um, yeah, I mean, as AJ here has just finished the first episode, the first like not the prequel, but at least the after one,
The
and we had just before we could get started, we just had so much. We just had so much to talk about, so we
oh
couldn't
my
really
god.
save it for the views here. But we'll try to do. We'll just keep it going, I guess. Um, but yeah. So, what are your thoughts at first, as you just started with it? Because you have a whole lot more to see that's going to probably scramble your brain.
I mean, I'm a little vague on the first episode because it's been a hot minute. I literally just kind of continued off from the second episode to the finale of the first game. Oh Lord. There. I'm not even gonna lie. There's so much to unpack. Um, I mean, it feels like kind of like trying to dive into the Walking Dead Telltale games. Like that game, it just has so much to dive into. It doesn't help that this game is such an acid trip at sometimes. I mean, when Amon when Amon suggested me to kind of watch this, like the gameplays and everything. He did kind of warn me that there was going to be certain parts that was going to be a little trippy. I don't remember the exact terms you used, but I know that you were kind of like, it'll be a little trippy when you like get into certain areas of the game. And
Like, and that trippiness. Now it's what I explained to you in our last episode of that certain scene of having reverse abilities of stealing something, even though you never had the talk on giving it up.
yeah, yeah,
A
like
a lot of people that first play through it probably are like, wait, that like the science of that doesn't make sense. But I get it, it's just fantasy. But right?
I mean, I also get that like once you're in possession of the item before you reverse time, I would assume because it's in your possession in that moment, it wouldn't like reverse with the rest of the like with everything else in that moment, if that makes sense. This game is gonna be
Because
uh
wait a minute.
um
We won't go from every detail possible unless we want to take down that path. There's some other stuff I want to show,
obviously.
obviously. But like, for example, in like for people that already played this game, there's a certain character that's kind of like the Victorian of the school. And I think her name's literally Victoria. So I'm assuming,
Yeah,
but
it like I think she's supposed to be like the queen bee or whatever.
Yeah, the queen bee of it all. And
Victoria, shit, I don't remember her last name.
like
Um,
at first, you just like, okay, she's kind of like the queen bee, so she has her sort of language she speaks. It's like rich, rich talk almost.
cool
And
kid, popular,
yeah, popular and all that.
entitled.
But then as you progress through, you're like, okay, now you're just being a little annoying. So as you know, in the first, like, I mean, she goes at you, then you have a chance for revenge, and there's this whole sequence of the whole pink thing where she's
Oh my god, the pink thing is funny.
the blocking the thing, and it's kind of a little puzzle, pretty much like the first puzzle of the game where you have to
I
solve.
will say, if The Walking Dead from Telltale's did something like this, I could kind of see the way that they did the puzzles in this game. Like they did it so creatively. Because not only is it like, oh, you have to like actually figure out what you have to do and kind of like, be smart about it. But you also have to include and remember that you can reverse time to continue on with the puzzle and complete it. Which that was such a confusing trip on its own because it was just like, okay, like going back to the like items. If you take a certain item and you reverse time and then you just have it. It's kind of like that, but it's just like, okay, well, how, the logic in this also makes it weird because it's like, okay, if say you're doing this in a hypothetical situation that you are in control of reversing time in a situation like the game, and you had to say, like with the paint scene, you had to kind of do a whole thing with kind of sabotaging the bucket. So when was it Samuel, the janitor
Yeah, okay.
custodian?
I want to talk about Samuel. I want to talk about
Oh my!
Samuel, but
I'm not even gonna lie. That dude creeped me out, and I
that
always also
dude, I
thought he
know,
was
like, he
hot.
has maybe like a speech impairment or something, but it's like, how are you
I
not
don't
the
know if it
most,
was a speech impediment, but he always sounded like he was high as a kite.
or a stalker serial killer?
Yeah,
I mean, you're a
I mean there were certain
groundskeeper with
areas.
that type of voice. And I like it that in the game, it's like Max is like, "Hey, how's it going?" It's like, "Hey," it's like,
I like how Max is also the only person who really like kind of talked to Samuel normally with
like
like no like not a single doubt of his character. Like I mean, there was just such trust with Samuel re- between Max. It was weird.
But yeah, like the yeah, like that was. But yeah, anyway, in that scene though, whatever you get, you make your move and it works. But then there's two approaches. You can just go right after her, take a picture, and be like, haha. Or you can like pretend like, oh no, but it's like you kind of like apologize. I did the apologetic approach, even though it's like,
That's
yeah, I know.
what that's what Jacksepticeye did. He
But
did
it's
the
like,
apologetic approach.
because like even though after and she'd still be like, thanks, but it's like I'm so like,
Well, I mean, it was also just like at first you're like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of karma because you're such an asshole. Like, I mean, Victoria was not a kind character, not really. But I mean, it's just like the way that you play Max also determines on how the story goes. It's the same with any kind of choice-based game like this. It's about which choices you choose kind of determines which path you get put on. So doing the apologetic approach, I think that also plays a key role in later situations, in some way, at least. I would think.
Yeah, like so. Yeah. Anyway, but in the game, as you know, it's like yeah, the last chapter is like 8 hours. I couldn't even finish it in one night because it was that long. I felt like I was getting close, but it was like 2 in the morning. Felt like I gotta go to bed. But it's like how I'm not done yet because there's like all these time things to try to like fix, and that's what like they're trying to tell you about this character, what her like curse is almost. He's thinking with this, by damaging it, can I fix it? But every time you fix a
Hmm.
reality, it becomes a new timeline. If you watch Loki, it's practically that in a way. But
Yeah,
but
especially like season two Loki. I feel like
yeah,
because
it's like
they really dived into like different timelines in season two.
but anyway, like what other like scenarios or like jaw dropping moments that kind of just like whoa.
Okay, I will say, like I said before we started, with Mr. Jefferson, the art teacher, it still kind of like blew my mind at the twist because I actually had suspected him in like from like episode two that Jacksepticeye did. It was I've gotten into a habit of kind of predicting certain things in certain games or movies or whatever, and it's really based off like the screen time of certain characters. It's also kind of how I do like the kind of the guesses on like the Scream movies, you know, like the Psycho Killer or whatever, and it really depends on like, oh well, okay, who exactly out of the cast has the most screen time, but also the least amount of time around some of these characters, kind of thing, you know. So I mean, it they sold me on Nathan Prescott a lot in season two and three,
Yeah, that's how well the game did.
and that was only because of how much they were pressing on him. They purposely pressed on him so hard from season one, or yeah, season one of the first game. I say episode because that's Jacksepticeye did the like each season in a span of like under 3 hours of a video. Obviously after editing some stuff. Um, in one single video for each season. So he did each episode for that season, and um, I think immediately after season two and three, it was like, okay, they're really pressed on Nathan right now, and I kind of suspected at some point that like, yeah, he was gonna have a kind of a role in what happened to Rachel, just because of how kind of really aggressive he was getting, really less around he was, I guess you could say. Um, but it was also just like, okay, well, who else? I actually almost, I'm not even gonna lie, I actually thought Victoria was involved at some point because
I mean,
of
you're not right, you're not wrong. She was involved, just not as deeply as what as the plot was trying to
not,
go.
yeah, not between how Nathan Prescott and Mark Jefferson was.
She was just a tool.
Yeah, and I gotta say though, I mean, like going back on the fact that they sold me on Nathan so much was the fact that it was because of, I mean, in season one, you get him, you have to save Chloe from getting shot literally in the bathroom by Nathan. So, I mean, it was just like, oh shit, okay, that's one
But
encounter with Nathan having a gun. And then there's like one or two other times in the next couple seasons where he has some type of weapon on him or whatever, or that he threatens you in some way. And it's like, oh shit, okay. Damn. Um Speaking of which, before I continue on, can we just get my boy Warren some like wins on him beating the fuck out of Nathan in that one section of the game? I mean, dude literally hulked out and was just
Well,
going head to
in that
toe.
scenario, for me at least, when you read the option, your brain processes what it's trying to say. And
Hmm.
I thought I did. That's what happened. Like picked the option where it's like you stop him, but I thought it was where like, wait, if I do this, would actually get shot since he has the gun. But that wasn't the scenario it was actually trying to tell you. But I was like, oh, okay.
I so Jacksepticeye chose where it was like, I'm just gonna stay out of this. And you just watch Warren go full on like beast mode on Nathan. I mean, he kicks him several times, he fucking punches him several more times or so. I mean, like he full on left Nathan bloodied and bruised. I mean, he had beaten Nathan Prescott so bad, dude actually started crying. And I assume after that, really started questioning his life choices. Because in like the finale or whatever, there's like a voicemail Nathan leaves for Max.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, oh, well, he confesses to killing Rachel. Um, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, uh, Mr. Jefferson's behind all of this, technically, and now he's coming after me. So it was just really like, I wonder if because of Warren, depending on either choice you choose, to either stay out of it and let Warren just beat the absolute living shit out of Nathan, or kind of like jump in and like stop it from escalating so much. I wonder if either choice changes the way that Nathan is portrayed later on in the game.
Well, I think I'm trying to reflect the approach of stopping him. I mean, I just know he apologizes, and he's going to die. He's afraid to die.
Yeah,
But that's it. Like nothing really changed. Let him beat up. No, but after that, it made me thought. I'm like, oh, you're not the main killer, aren't you?
yeah, that was such like a ghost face thing to do though. Like that's what I really thought was really interesting because that's what kept you on your toes. It's like, okay, well, Nathan is obviously totally somehow involved in this, but he's not like the real brains of the operation in a way. You know? Like he's not somebody who could just be like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm going to just do this," and then you're going to wake up somewhere you don't recognize. Like that's not how Nathan was portrayed. He seemed too, how can I say this? Anxious. Like when you first meet him in the bathroom, like when you first like he gets introduced in the girls' restroom before Chloe jumps in and starts that whole situation happens. You just hear and watch Nathan kind of just panic.
But do you know why Chloe went up to him?
Um, I mean, I knew it was like they mentioned that it was because Chloe got got word that Nathan like was selling drugs or whatever.
She was a victim.
That too.
Yeah, she was a victim, and
And but I mean, like when you first get introduced to Nathan Prescott, oh, like I said, I mean he's like flipping the fuck out. I mean, he is in such a panic mode, and it's the whole reason why he ends up pulling out a gun in the first place. It's because he's like, oh, well, you're not gonna blackmail me or whatever
Yeah.
into giving you fucking money. That's not how this is gonna go. So it's just like, okay, this is interesting. Um,
But I
how
just
can we prevent this?
here's another thing you didn't realize. I didn't. Now my brain just kind of just real. I mean, I might just realize this. The butterfly effect.
I noticed that immediately when they showed the butterfly laying on the bucket.
You take a picture of the first photo, and then death happens. It's like,
I literally, as soon as they did that, and Jacksepticeye even was like, "Is this gonna like be some butterfly effect type thing? Like, is this gonna be like the movie Butterfly
because
Effect?"
when I first played, I was like, ooh, butterfly. Take a picture.
Yeah, and
Death.
then you get that whole like dramatic like argument or whatever, and then
And
like
here's
Chloe
the thing.
dies.
Even though, here's the thing. I know she got shot in the stomach, but you think
I still feel like you could have survived that
Chloe could have
for like
survived
a
it?
little bit. Well, depends on if it hit any vital
Like,
organs.
she'll be bleeding out, yes, but
Yeah,
I felt like I know it's a state of panic. So you stretch out your hand, but it's like, oh, you forgot you have abilities. That's when it first happens. You're like, because it's just a regular day, and they're just like, ooh, a picture, and then chaos, and then you reach out your hand,
yeah,
it's like
yeah. And then you're right back into the class before everything happened,
dialogue. Because that's
and
what
you're just like, wait a minute, what?
that's why
What's going on?
I feel like having time abilities is just like
That
you can
I
have
have to say,
you have to if you can somehow control it, but it's just it's so
see, the thing about chronokinesis in any form is overpowered as shit. It's OP as fuck. It, I mean, it is, and it's because of the fact that it's a power that's on a cosmic level. You're literally kind of think of it like a river, okay? Like there's a single flow of where it's leading, right? With chronokinesis in the form that they did in this game, it's fighting that current. They're going against that current, the natural order of that current.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, because of this, that's going to cause different side effects. It's going to cause, it's a whole cause and effect. That's literally what they bring up later in the game at some point, is
Yeah.
that
I
what
mean,
you do really has consequences.
later in the series, when you watch more of the gameplay, we'll show a couple of trailers. Well, I mean, I know we have Reunion and there's that trailer, but when I played Reunion, in a way, even though the game almost looks like uh, Max being like an anti-hero, because it's like she fixes the problem, but then you feel this like evil turn.
See, I think really because there's a section in the game in like the last episode, like the finale of the first game.
Mm,
It's where they're in the diner full of everybody,
yeah.
and Max literally starts talking and kind of arguing with herself or some like past version of
Oh
herself
yeah. What do you thought of
from
that?
that was really interesting. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because of the fact that with your the antagonist or anti-hero description, I think the game isn't supposed to give a definite like protagonist and a definite antagonist. Because I mean, obviously, you got the whole like, oh, well, there's some psychopath that's doing this fucked up shit, and they need to be stopped. Obviously, that's a definite antagonist there. And while you're playing as Max, you're being the protagonist for that part of the story. But there's also a side piece to the main story for the first game, at least what I've noticed is Max is both the protagonist and the antagonist. because her choices on reversing time and changing certain events is causing basically the space-time continuum to rupture. It's the reason why the animals were like the whales washing up on shore dead, the birds dying, um, fucking random snowfall in the middle of like summer or whatever it was. And then like in like the finale or like the last like the fourth season before the finale, you get where it has the two moons in the sky. And all of that is signs of Max fucking with time up so much
Like,
that it's catching up to her.
if you want to add some jokes to it, it's like the time god is like, "Hey, what you?"
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
just like, no, 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 no.
it's like the time
We're
lord.
not. Yeah, it's like
Time lord, and it's like, "What you doing?"
think of like Doctor Who. If like if you know the show, you know kind of like how that is,
Yeah,
and like the Loki series with the TVA. It is literally like that level of just you can make the jokes on those levels and be like, yeah, Max, what are you doing down there, bud? Like, this is fucking with reality, right? Like this is not a good thing you should be doing.
I mean, when you get to the other gameplays, you're going to see the growth of her abilities and almost her character, where you can feel this like not aura, but you feel this like change in her as it progresses.
I I'm honestly still curious about how they plan to explain Max's ability to just suddenly like manipulate time. I'm curious on how they plan to do that. So I
Like,
can't wait to watch more of it.
yeah, like if you
Because
want to
I'm
just,
sure they might like eventually explain how she has that happen somehow. I'm
well,
sure.
I'm trying to reflect on if they really did an explanation on it, or it's just more like, nah, we're going to add more abilities.
Well, I think like if they kind of drop hints at like the possibility of how she gets it, that'd be cool too. You know, not like a full like explanation, but like kind of hints of them building up. Like, oh yeah, this is how she gets it, kind of thing.
I
Or
don't.
I
I'm
don't
trying
know.
to
That
think.
would be cool to me.
That would be cool, but I don't think they really explain it. They just kind of want to let's add more abilities and add other characters.
Well,
And
that's what I mean. Like, I don't. I would be so happy if they don't like give a full explanation in any of the games yet until like they're finally kind of ready to drop that bomb. Just like hints of like, oh, well, this is how you got this ability, or like just kind of theories more or less, like hints at like the real possibility of how she gets it, but just like, oh yeah, no, that's not how that happened, or yeah, no, that's not how that happened either. Like it's just a full on like kind of guessing game of like, okay, well, how does she get the ability to manipulate time this way? You know, like I think them dropping hints every now and then would be so cool to have for a build up to be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is how she actually gets the ability at some point later on in her life, you know? Them kind of just finally at some point dropping like the full explanation of how and why she gets it, but then just kind of like building up to that through little like subtle hints that like if you don't really pay attention to it fully, you miss it, kind of thing, you know?
yeah. So anyway, I know you didn't play the first one, so I'll just show you a trailer at least the before the story,
Well, the prequel to
the
the first one,
prequel
but yeah.
to the first one. On just knowing about Rachel, in case you don't know who she
Chloe, breakfast.
My dad's gone. My best friend has left me. Hey, Mom, you wanted to talk? And home life is a joke.
David's a good man.
Dad was a good man.
Your mother. She's hurting, Chloe.
You're not my father. Sometimes all I want to do is shut my eyes and tell the world to go to hell. Am I wrong to think like that? Oh, good. You're here. Chloe Price. Rachel Amber. Oh, shit. That can't be the same girl from last night. Hey, dickhead! Last night was amazing. Come on, hurry up! There's more to experience out there than just Arcadia Bay. Don't be surprised if one day I'm just out of here. Sometimes, when you meet someone who's going to change your life, you just know it, I guess. Let's do something fun. Fuck yes. Rachel, run! What the hell?
Next time, mind your own business. Calm down. Walk away.
Whatever's going on between us is special. You can't leave! Why not? Because I don't want to ruin this the way I ruin everything else in my life. What's going to happen now? No fucking idea. But one thing I'm sure of, it all began when I met her.
Damn.
So, like, as you can already tell from that trailer alone, it's sad. Since if you play that,
You want to know? I'm curious though. Are they gonna include the timey-wimey stuff?
No. But what's great about that game, you want to know. Here's the other thing. Do you know? Do you want to know about the blue hair? Because she didn't have blue hair, as you saw.
I noticed that they kind of hint at that through the alternate reality where Chloe is paralyzed. They kind of hinted at that.
Since you mentioned that, because that was also what made it even more weird. It's like, okay, you know Amber, we don't know her enough. You know she disappeared, so it's like this is where your brain's like,
yeah. So, okay, that is the thing that I'm also very interested about. Is the fact that it confused the fuck out of me. Because if Rachel Amber was buried at the junkyard, why the fuck did they not realize that soon? Because you got to remember, in the first game, they go to the junkyard.
I know.
So the fact that Chloe immediately, once she it clicks in with the photo that she sees, she immediately knows where that is.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly. Because she's even like, we need to go to the junkyard. Like, now. I know where this is. And I think that is so sad. Because I can't imagine how many times Chloe has gone to the junkyard just to kind of, like, cool off, clear her head or whatever. Or occasionally maybe even get high. I don't fucking know. But I can't imagine how many times Chloe has really been at where Rachel was the entire time, and then having it where she's like, "Oh shit, I know where this is." Because you get that sense immediately when she realizes where the photo was taken. If you look at her reaction, it's like it clicks in her head, and it's like, I don't know if it's just me or whatever, but to me it was like it felt like a sudden like wave of guilt wash over her instantly, and not just because of the possibility that Rachel's dead, but it's the fact that how many times did she think about Rachel or trying to figure out answers or whatever by going to that spot to try and clear her head and really think about like what happened to Rachel the entire time. Like how many times did she actually go visit the junkyard without realizing, oh, maybe she's somewhere here. Like I get it. Like Chloe has an issue with people leaving her. I get that. Like her biological dad died. And she even says this to Max at some point that she blames him for leaving the house that day. And it's not because she's mad at her dad for leaving, it's the fact that she's mad at herself for not realizing the possibility of something bad even happening. She had a good life with her parents, you could see that. So her blaming her dad for his own death for leaving the house that day is more of her feeling like, oh, well, because everybody else has basically left me, fucking Max has left me to go to wherever, Rachel suddenly just up and vanished and left me too. She she thinks everybody that she's ever known either hates her or just leaves her.
Because since you didn't play that, you didn't watch the play, especially play. I mean, one of the out there on PlayStation, PS4s, but when it originally came out. But if you watch gameplay, there's actually a reason why she left, and this is where, and not only that, you're going to learn some deep lore of her actual birth mom, of Rachel, and that's where it can get a little up and down and like very emotional for sure. But
I've also noticed something interesting about Max.
she has superpowers, yes, in her own way.
No, not the obvious. She has superpowers. You don't actually really see her parents. You don't hear her parents. Like, it,
They didn't really
besides like the little like area, the little sections where they text her, maybe once or twice in the entire fucking game.
Mhm.
But you don't really get to know her parents at all. Like there's almost zero lore about them in the first game, which is interesting because that shows that there's a lot more depth to Max than just whatever happened in the whole
You
her
kind of get
leaving.
like you kind of do get a general, just like
Yeah, I mean they moved to California because her dad got a promotion or whatever. Which I mean, fair, fine, sure. I also think the reason why Max didn't talk to Chloe before leaving was because Chloe was going through her own shit. And Max didn't want to just add on to the already burden Chloe feels about her dad's death. Um, the kind of awkwardness that they kind of had, because you kind of get a little bit about that time gap when Max left in the alternate reality where Chloe was paralyzed. You get that kind of like hint at, oh, well, they both were in. Okay, granted, it was for obvious reasons because Chloe had gotten paralyzed, I'm sure, is the reason for that. But you also get a sense of a parallel idea of why Max kind of didn't tell Chloe that she was leaving or that she was moving.
I mean, like you get from like the photos, like like it was like art school.
Well, you also got to take in the fact that when you first play and get introduced to Max, she is a shy person. She kind of avoids social interaction. So I feel like, in a sense, Max left without saying a word because she didn't want to be another reason or she didn't want to be a reason that Chloe was going to be mad at her.
You know what I first thought? I thought they were like adopted. I thought she was adopted by Chloe's family.
I'm not even gonna lie, that's kind of what I thought.
And then I thought, like, oh no, she has her own family. Okay, wait, going back to the art. Speaking of the art in general, the pictures. Here's what it kind of got me. I thought, but maybe I was wrong. I think I was wrong though. He described the main culprit of it all, the minds and the operation.
Yeah, Mark Jefferson. He actually hints at himself at being the villain.
Yeah, he hints it, but not only that, I think he admits going to Seattle for being a teacher. Then I was like, wait a minute. Are you telling me you've been actually stalking her? Like
yeah, because he was obsessed with Max.
Obsessed, like her golden prize, you could say. So I was thinking, like, wait, you telling? Because think in the first game how the whole thing's portrayed. Of course,
he also is the only person who really pushes Max to try and get out of her shell.
So
be more confident.
I was thinking, like, wait, you're telling me this dude was in Seattle? Is it just a coincidence? Or did your research? No, like, did you really have followed her?
If he actually,
it doesn't really clarify
Max from the start.
If it doesn't really clarify, but it just felt like, I wonder. Speaking of which, in case you didn't know, they're doing a show of this based on the first.
I'm curious on how they're going to do that.
And then they got the two. We'll talk about it a little bit more before we conclude on like they got their cast of who's who in that game in the series. But let's move on to the second to last installment of the main timeline, you could say, of. And this is where pretty much just watch.
I swore I'd never use my power again.
Like this is like.
But 2
the
nights
fact
ago,
that she still has it.
I found my friend's body in the woods.
Damn, the gravity was crazy.
I don't know who I can trust. Or who trusts me. But my friend Safi is dead. So why can I still hear her voice? Focusing my power, I somehow shifted into a parallel timeline. Here, Safi is still alive. The danger stalks are every step. And only I can investigate both realities.
Hang on. Parallel world?
It's the same as
My
this
brain's
one,
already
except
like,
you're dead. I can still save Safi. If I can solve and prevent the same murder across 2 timelines.
That's crazy.
Oh, if you watch.
I just also realized something. Go on though. You first.
Well, I'm saying when you watch gameplay, there's going to be a mystery you probably don't know about when you watch it. It's about one of those characters, and your brain's going to be, what?
Okay, so be prepared for another acid trip. Got it.
Well, not just that. It's like I just watched that trailer. I just went through it. I went through it, but you're going to be like, what? It's going to be very confusing when you try to put the puzzles together. We'll just say that.
Fair.
I'm not going to like. Anyway, you saw like, oh, there's a little spoiler. Her abilities now can go through parallel universes.
That's
It's like,
pretty cool though.
it's cool. Like she can just like grab reality. I'm gonna just go through this parallel world real quick. I'll be back. And then she can come right back to her timeline to this timeline of Safi, which you will learn more about her when you watch. But like, anyway, and not only that, one of those characters is probably the best NPC you're going to meet. Like it's like, NPCs can get a little funny or a little janky. There's one of the characters where just like he's like your bro.
That's fair.
Your dude.
I mean, that's kind of like with some of the other games that we've kind of mentioned, like, or we have talked about. So, I mean, okay, yeah,
Hey, what do you thought of the music though?
that was a pretty good choice. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like
Um,
I don't know what the theme is. I want to say like it's like indie folk, but not folk. But it's like it's kind of like
indie pop?
it's indie
No.
pop because it's like music that tells the story.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
know
have
there's
a
a term
family
for it. I
friend
don't
that
remember what.
I have a family friend that's like has a band that kind of does that sort of music where it just like has this like it's like small tunes, but it's like the vocals is just like you're just telling a story, but you're making like rhythm out of it. That's what it pretty much is. I mean, just let you know when you're gonna listen. Anyway, that trailer does it kind of make like this is like eerie? It's like whoa, it got this like
A little bit. They definitely added a good amount of
it's a good mystery one. You're like whoa.
Yeah.
And like you feel the thriller. Now you're like, I need to watch this because you should.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, review wise, not well, but if you try to understand what's going on and seeing Max, see, like, what do you think of? Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, when you watch it, you're gonna see her like glow up. Like she grew. She's a teacher.
Well, see, that's why I was also like, oh, the graphics look great in this. Like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I play. I'm like, whoa.
But that's also what kind of reminded me about what I was gonna also talk about was that in the first game, because of the fact that there is so much, hold on, there is so much talk about different styles of art and whatnot throughout the first game, that you kind of miss that they purposely added some of those within certain sections of the game. For like example, with after you make the parallel reality where Chloe is paralyzed, everything is a lot brighter, more like vibrant. And then when you go back to the like original timeline, it's darker, a little more gritty, um, a little bit more, I want to say mysterious. I don't think that's the right term I want to use. But you could see the difference, you know? And I love the fact that they incorporated different like art styles within the game's graphics in certain areas. Like it brings up the whole topic about art as a whole, especially photography, because photography for a lot of people is a big sense of a big sense in the art world, you know. So
In double exposure, though, the character you gotta focus on is Safi. That's all.
oh,
Safi. That you just learn. You're gonna learn something. You just watch. That's the character you gotta focus on.
okay.
And yeah, you like the title of double exposure. You got photos, So anyway,
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, but anyway, you should watch gameplay. I know people don't like it as much. Like it actually is a thing. Different studio. or a coworker told me that I think it's actually not. It's not the people that made the first one, or like it's like a two. I don't know. It's two different ones, or a different one replacing the other. I don't know entirely, but pretty much, I think I learned that it's actually the people that made this one, but then didn't. Yeah. So that's what might have made it why people didn't really enjoy it as much, because the kind of like the decision making can be a little weird, where it's like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, with games like this, the decision making is always going to be weird because one, a lot, some, or if not a lot of the decisions that you are needing to make when you click on them, it gives you that whole feeling where it's like you think that it's going to sound like one way, but then it sounds like a whole different way. So I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it. I'll watch the gameplay to get my opinion on it. But that's also kind of what I do with like a lot of things, anyways. Is to
I was
just
like, I
get
was
my.
kind of. I know probably will be restricted, but it's like, man, I wish we could watch like a gameplay of it, because it's like so we can do like I had like a new idea, but we'd probably just get copyrighted the hell out of our channel, so I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, before we conclude, as I mentioned earlier, as you know, they're gonna try to do a series out of this, and as you know, as we've been talking, you kind of think how, like, even when I played, like, and I heard about it, I was like, how the hell they're going to try to make a series out of this? Because you've seen series that do all this time warps or everything, but something about it, it's going to be difficult to
Well,
do.
it's not just the time warps. It's all any game that gets some type of movie, they have to change certain things. So it's not stuff that you're obviously going to expect because if you've already played the game, it's kind of what they did with like The Last of Us that we talked about when we did that topic. Is that they mentioned that they were going to change things or some things in the Last of Us series that would be a little different from what happens in the game. So I mean, I'm expecting it with what they do with the Life is Strange series might be a little different from what they like. The choices might be a little different from what they do in the
Like,
game.
yeah, of course, that's what's going to be. Of course, that's going to
I
give us.
am curious though how they are going to adapt the choice making part though. Because I mean, obviously, with unlike like The Last of Us, where it's just one like straight like story script of already made decisions, right? With games like this, it's a lot more difficult because of the fact that it gives you multiple different choices and outcomes through the game. So I'm curious on exactly how they're going to kind of incorporate that into the story of the show to keep it kind of similar, if not somewhat the same to the game in some form, or if they're just going to kind of change that where it's just one simple, straightforward story of decisions. But I mean, I guess that's one thing I'm curious on how they're going to do. The other is obviously the time warping stuff. Like I, with the way that graphic or not graphics, special effects have evolved over the years. I'm curious on exactly how they're gonna play that out, especially because of how like the Butterfly Effect film franchise, the way that they did stuff for that regarding the time warping stuff is insane for when the movies came out. So I mean, for them to do it in a show, I'm curious how they're going to do that. Also, are they doing a live action show or is it going to be like animated?
Apologize. No, live action.
Okay,
So,
interesting. All right. Um, yeah, I'm not too curious on what they plan to do fully, but I am curious with, I guess, certain stuff. I also really just hope that the writing for it is going to be good because I feel like that's really important for a lot of the shows or movies is that the writing has to be kind of on par with the original source material, I guess. Oh, is this for the
Well,
cast?
here's this is the cast. So we got Abby Ostrowski playing Max, with Holly Nagel being Chloe. Then got we got Angela, Jen, sorry if I butchered, Benduro playing Rachel. We got Sharon Lefevre playing Joyce. Any of these actresses sound familiar?
Not that I can tell, no. If these are also like,
Grant.
I don't want to say unpopular, but like,
Well, what I've learned, I think, about
underrated.
these two, they didn't do, they don't have a lot of screen time, so that's what makes this interesting because it's their approach. Just throw two
Well,
at
that's
that.
why I was. That's why I was gonna say if these are also like underrated actors and actresses, that'd be so
Yeah.
much cooler because that gives them a spotlight and more opportunities for their career later on.
Villardo played David. Jenna Bogue going to be the paralyzed reality
Of Chloe.
of
Now that would be really cool if they actually
Chloe.
had something. If well, I'm sure that they're probably gonna do that. So never
Yeah,
mind.
we're seeing like other characters probably haven't heard of, like this person named Polina.
I'm almost
Scapenko.
positive I haven't heard of any of these people.
Yeah, but anyway, that's
So
what's going to make
that's why
this
I
like.
was. Go on.
Oh, that's what's going to make this. I'm just curious. I mean, of course, they're going to go based on the game. As you know, when you try to make games into series, you kind of have to twist it up enough. As you know what they're doing for The Last of Us.
Well, that's also like what they do with like books and shows
Yeah.
and stuff. So I mean, they obviously have to change some of the source material to make it their own separate project in some form, but we'll see. I mean, I really just hope that the writing's good, because if the writing and the acting is good, then
I'm curious who's picking. I'm curious what's the
I
stream
am
service.
happy.
What stream
That
service?
is gonna be. I was actually gonna ask, is it gonna be like on Netflix or something?
I don't
like,
know.
what's
Netflix,
it
HBO.
gonna be on?
It doesn't specify, but it is aiming for next year, maybe, or the following. So that's their target.
I wonder if they're planning to make another game before they release the series.
Watch everything and see how it all ended, and share your thoughts. I feel
so the game itself is completely done.
The main timeline is done. They're going to do more games based on other stuff, but you want to focus on these.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they're gonna do more games, just not.
Yeah, no, yeah. If you want to focus on the
directly
main
based off
timeline,
Max.
yeah, the main two, that the game that came out recently is the last. That's it. And when you get to that game, that's why I want to know what ending he picked, because when he played it, when that YouTuber played it, I wonder what he thought. Would he realizing that,
I noticed that Jacksepticeye kind of regretted choosing the ending that he picked, because he picked the one where he sacrificed the town. So he saved Chloe instead of the town.
When you play it, a decent amount went for the other ending, but a lot of people just felt like, nah.
I was kind of surprised because I guess because it was kind of like a little after that it had came out or whatever.
But
Um, but like because at least for his playthrough, like for the finale that he chose, like the ending he chose was like 53% of them sacrificing the town to save Chloe, and like 47% to sacrifice Chloe to save the town. I thought that was insane. Like I was like, okay, well, I wasn't really surprised because I kind of figured a lot of people kind of shipped. Like a lot of people, like Jacksepticeye pointed out like early in the like in his walk, like in his gameplay about like the third installment to the game. I think that he put up on his channel was that a lot of people had already kind of like gave the like Chloe and Max a ship name like um Pricefield, I think it was. And like he mentioned that a lot of people probably like shipped them, so they kind of like was like, yeah, fuck the town, we're gonna save Chloe because
well,
they're like
I was about to think, what did he pick? Did he kiss her or not?
he kissed her.
So you kind of felt like
I think
that
he
would
so
make
he did say he did expect that maybe that they were gonna like kiss at the like the at the ending he chose. I kind of assumed that if he chose to sacrifice Chloe to save the town, I think they were gonna have it where in that moment before they sacrificed Chloe, like before Max went back in time to let Chloe die originally, then they were gonna have like one final like kiss or something before basically watching her die like over the what billionth time. Because I mean, Chloe has such like
yeah.
she cheats death so many times because of Max
that's the other
reversing
part.
time.
Was the playthrough guy getting a little annoyed?
Through what?
The train scene.
Oh my god.
You know, they added a puzzle to that. I'm like,
I love the. Oh my god. Okay, look. I love Jacksepticeye's reactions to shit, but that one was the fucking funniest because he goes up to the lever or lever, however you fucking pronounce it, and then you gotta go over to the electrical box for it.
Oh, yeah,
and it's like, oh no, you gotta go over here for this thing, and then you gotta go over here for this thing to get to this thing, to get to that other thing.
Just to pull a lever. It's like,
like
who made this track? Like, oh, of course the game. It's like
I was laughing my ass off. Okay, look, I know that it was a fucked up situation, but if you know Jacksepticeye's reactions to shit like that, it is hilarious to watch. Because it doesn't matter how dark the situation is, or if somebody is in danger, if he is reacting in a certain way, where it's just like, fuck, I need to go over here, like, or it was just like, wait, what am I supposed to do? What's happening? Like, his first go through in that was him looking around everywhere, and then at some point, because the train got too close, he went over, watched it basically hit Chloe, and then it automatically rewound time. And it was just like him kind of just like, okay, I guess we're doing this now. So, like, his reactions to shit is so fucking hilarious that to me it doesn't matter what the situation is. If he is suddenly like going into like panic mode and then frustration into acceptance, it's just funny to watch.
I mean, like,
because it's like
I had like a blind. It was like for me, it was like a blind play because you know the game, but it's like now you kind of think like, you know what? Should I like maybe we shouldn't save her? She got shot because you don't want to get it rammed by
I find that interesting though, because even though it's a choice-based game, they have a straightforward story.
Yeah.
Like you have to follow the story, But even though it's a choice-based game,
'Cause that's
there's-
the difference to Telltale. Telltale, it's like, oh, you can change it however you want, go for it, you know. But
yeah, you could be an
Life is
absolute
Strange,
bitch in
sorry.
certain sections.
Sorry, you're gonna experience. Your brain's gonna be a bit mushed up if you love this sort of genre of like, what the hell am I trying? What are you trying to tell me? Like, there's this plot, but then there's this, there's that, this.
Yeah,
Miss, because
I also love the fact that with this game, unlike Telltale, they have it for this game is like there's a main plot and then there's like side plots to get to continue on with the main plot. But it's so interesting, like the way that they made this game is so creative.
that was also that was kind of funny. Where I was like, huh. Do you know, like, I don't know if he did. You know, he's supposed to know. Did he water the plant? And
I think so, yeah.
you sort of like you see the whole thing like, oh, this leads to consequence. I'm like, what do you mean? And the funny part is, it's just it's just the mom messaging like about watering the plant. I was like, what's like this actually is a consequence? Like, what, watering a plant? It's like, what's going on? And I'm like, because it's like that's what makes a game more mind-boggling. It's like you're just doing one simple thing. You know,
I also thought it was kind of funny because this reminded me with his gameplay with, I think, The Last of Us Part 2 regarding the dogs. And it was the section where it was either throw the bone into the street or
oh, yeah. I actually
into the parking lot. I don't remember where, but he threw the bone in the street. I guess he just thought, oh, it's just gonna kind of go.
no,
He's gonna like the dog's gonna get the bone and then come back or whatever.
That's
No.
what I actually like. It was so sudden. I actually couldn't decide. Like looking at what it's trying to say, and luckily I picked the safe option because a lot of people, some people actually went for the one across the street, and the dog gets.
I thought it was also kind of funny, and I'm not meaning this because it was it's sad because I mean it's a dog, but it was just like it like Jacksepticeye was like I don't want to rewind time, and it was really just because he didn't want to rewind time, not because he didn't feel bad for potentially killing a dog, but it was because the game at some point before that whole situation crashed for him. Like it not crashed where it was like it exited out of the game, but it literally broke. Like he was stuck in like trying to rewind time and it just wasn't going back all the way to the part that he was needing to go back to. So he had to restart and kind of do that whole bit over again, and then he finally had gotten to it. But it was just like at that point, I don't blame him because if it took him like over another like hour or two or whatever just to get back through that part to get where he needed to progress the story, that's understandable. And if he wants to try to get the episode out within a certain time frame so he can start working on the next one, then he's kind of trying to make sure that he's consistent with it. So I mean, I was like, okay, that's fair. But it was just the fact that he was like, when in like the next episode or whatever, like when he restarted it, he was like, okay, look, I know there's probably going to be a lot of people that are still kind of upset about the fact that I didn't rewind time to save the dog. But look, and then went into a whole explanation of why he couldn't. And so it was just like, weirdly enough, it was like, okay, it's funny because of the fact that he was so worried about the game breaking again. And that was like the reason why he was just like, I'm just going to progress the story, but I'm sorry that the dog is gone.
Wait, what did he had raging? This playthrough guy had raging moments on the mini game of trying to remember what will happen.
I think with some of the code stuff.
Not the whole thing of knowing the sequence of from a broken play to a bug running into going to the music thing.
Oh my god, dude, he went through that at least like from the video at least that was uploaded. I think he went through that like 6 times. It's not like 6 times.
What about the part about Chloe when you try to remember what's in her pockets?
He went through that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, because the one part for me was the coins. I had to do math.
No, okay, see, that pissed me off.
Yeah, like it's like they get like the choices is like the
No,
certain
they-
numbers, and then you're
they said that the correct answer was 86 cents. You wanna know what I fucking counted?
what?
91 cents.
But if you do the
He had okay, look, Chloe had 6 pennies, right?
yeah,
3 quarters and a dime. 3 quarters is 75 cents. You add the dime, that's 85. Plus the 6 cents, what does that go up to?
yeah.
Because I could for surely fucking tell you it's not 86 cents.
For some reason, I don't know whoever thought
For
of that idea.
some reason, they were
Unless
like, we're
maybe
going to
that
make
was
this 86 cents, and that's the correct answer.
Or maybe that's what maybe they were trying to do, just to mind mess you up.
I think they really wanted to just kind of rage bait people that was really like paying attention on counting the change.
The star of the rage bait was doing the mini game to figure out what you saw. Then you have to remember what you
Oh
saw,
yeah.
and you have to tell it each way. It's like, damn.
Oh yeah.
It's like, really? You gotta do a
Yeah,
mini
no, I mean the first time Jack fucked up. Like he heard 2 things. Like you were supposed to do 4 things, right?
Yeah.
4 predictions. He did the mug from the trucker, then the 2 boys fighting, and then kind of getting scolded, being like, if you want to have your fight club, take it outside. He totally skipped or he got the police thing wrong. He got the jukebox wrong, and I just couldn't help but
I got the mug right and the argument of the cop, but my issue was I think it was the bug, and then I think the bug was the issue. I thought it was a rat.
Okay, look, the first time he had picked for the police one was that the radio picked up and the cop left. He didn't pick that that his partner left him at the diner. And then instead of picking the cockroach or the butterfly, at first he had picked I think Jacksepticeye picked the
Was it a rat?
No, it was just like the
I think
jukebox was broken, or it was like dying or something. Like it just stopped. It wasn't working anymore. So like I mean, it took him like a good couple tries to get that right. I couldn't tell you how funny it was to watch him go from, because the realization of him hitting him was like, wait, does that mean I have to go through all of this shit again every time? Like he tried to skip it, but it was because he had to pay attention to everything. It was just funny to have him here.
Yeah, you couldn't really skip that.
Yeah. So like it was just like, oh my god. Like what was it? And you're just watching him kind of like rage in this whole section of the game. And then he finally gets it, and it's just like, oh, yeah, okay. And he makes a whole joke about like, oh, yeah, I totally got that on the first try. Absolutely. I don't remember what the joke was, but it was like him kind of being like a smart ass about like, oh, well, finally, we got it. Or some shit. I don't remember what the joke exactly was, but it just, his reactions are hilarious. I love Jacksepticeye. He's funny as fuck.
Well, I was trying to think anything else to reflect on the game that was these funny or scary or what the hell, but nothing yet, but I just know.
No, okay. The section where they reveal who the true psychopath was.
Oh yeah.
It was the fact that you have Mr. Jefferson inject Max with the roofie or whatever, the reefer or whatever the fuck it was that like knocked her out, right? Sedative. And then you just out of nowhere see Chloe turn around, stand up,
But I thought she got shot.
No, that was Chloe.
Chloe's the one that got shot, right?
Yeah, no, Max got injected with the needle.
And like that,
And
the way
then-
they did that, I'm like, I knew it.
And then and then Max tried to warn Chloe, which she turned around, got ready to try and shoot Jefferson with her gun. Instead, she got shot. And I think Jacksepticeye said that it was like he shot her in the head.
It looked like that. But
It did look like that. And I mean, it was just it was such a moment where it's like, oh shit. But then he mentioned something about like, oh well, I mean, what about that photo that Warren took at like before you go into the party? Like, what about that? And it was just like, oh yeah, that's gonna be important at some point soon,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And which it was. No, but that surprised me. It wasn't because of the like sudden twist of like, oh yeah, surprise. This is actually who has been like kidnapping people.
I
No,
just saw, and they did the reveal. I'm like, I knew it. I just want to be sure if I was. I was like,
I was shocked at how clean
the
that
reveal.
execution of how that played out. I mean, perfectly snuck up right behind Max to inject her with the needle to like, sedate her. And then immediately shoots Chloe in the face. Basically. I mean, like, everything happened so fast. It was insane. I mean, like,
All right, quick side note. I got like a song in my mind that I've been listening to, and it's like played through my mind. Because this song I almost want to just contribute to it. Because I think like
I was
the game, and I feel like this could work. Oh, anyway, but I guess the last couple things. What was it about the whole mind game? We try to play mind games with him when he's trying to rage bait in a way to Chloe or Max when she gets captive.
oh.
That was probably the longest segment in the game because even not only that, when David said, depending on what you do with David, kick him out or who knows, but I don't know what was it. I forgot the other option.
Jacksepticeye, he had to go through that a good number of times
Oh yeah,
with David.
I had to figure it out, but then I realized what it was. He likes photos. Destroy his stage.
Yep.
That's it. Well, like first you got to figure out. First you can alert him. Still,
I won't even lie. At first, I thought it was the music idea.
that's why.
Because if Jefferson didn't hear David come in, then perfect,
I think I did every option like the water like something.
That's literally what Jacksepticeye did. He did every single option possible.
Do you think
He did the music idea. He did the photo idea. He did the water idea. He did the what was the fourth one? The lights.
That's what it is. That's why you had you thought even no.
I mean, he did every single option, and then he finally got it. It was like, oh, okay. So it was picture first, and then warn David, and then kind of just help him fight fucking Jefferson while being tied up.
I think it was like you distract him, you kick the thing so he doesn't grab the weapon.
Yeah.
There's something like that sequence, and then when David fights back, he runs to try to get his weapon, and then you gotta figure out, all right, what do you need to some parts were funny. Like I did them like,
oh yeah,
I was like, kick the table. No, that didn't work. Figure that one.
They made that so realistic though, if you think about it. Because I mean, in a situation, if you are tied up and you have to help somebody that is trying to save you, while also trying to avoid getting them killed, they made that so realistic.
Oh yeah, now that's the other thing that maybe as we wrap this up now What did he choose? Let him kill him? Tell him the truth, or didn't tell him the truth?
He did both, actually. He told David the truth about Chloe, and then obviously, I mean, dude shot the guy in the head.
When I saw that, I'm like, yes, he deserves it.
Yeah, that's also what Jack thought about too. He was just like, oh, maybe. I mean, granted, we're gonna fix this anyway, so it's fine. But it's just like maybe I shouldn't have done that. So he rebound time and then didn't tell David about what happened to Chloe. And it was just like, okay, that's kind of fair. But I mean, it was just like, like, don't get me wrong, dude definitely deserved to get shot in the fucking head because what he was doing was fucked up.
I'm like, he deserves that.
But I mean, it was like a justice thing. Like, oh yeah, because you killed Chloe, you get shot in the head too.
You don't have to give him like the Punisher death.
Yeah.
You know, just like he's already knocked the hell out of him. You know, give him the
knocked out and tied up. So I mean, it was like he's already good to go to get arrested and everything. But it was just like, okay,
at least
look, I see where the game's going with this. Like, yeah, he shot Chloe in the head, so he gets shot in the head. But maybe we don't do that.
Yeah, and then at least David was redeemed. So
I will say, I was happy with David's character development.
Yeah,
I mean, as much as like he was an asshole at first, but
he's just a military dad, and you know
that's what I thought was really interesting was that he felt so he felt so misunderstood.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that because there's like a whole section where you could read like a crumpled up note that he was writing to Joyce and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a note that was just like, oh damn, now I kind of feel bad for calling him an asshole and everything. And it's just like, I mean, I get it. Like as a soldier, you're gonna like your main job and priority is to protect everybody. Try and make sure everybody is safe. And when you get into a family situation like what David had to go through, like get married to a widow and then also, you know, be a step parent. I mean, that is a lot of uncharted waters in a sense, you know? So, I mean, like, I understood that, like, he was just trying to protect his family. But he could have also done it without so many secrets and the security cameras in the house. Like, that shit was weird.
I'm having kind of like some late thoughts in a way. Could you think of this kind of like Supergirl in a way?
How? Explain.
Well, it's kind of like, think of it if Zara was just a regular human on Earth that has abilities, but she, like, of course, in the Supergirl, she just doesn't understand of being a human. But in this case, being a human, but then trying to work the reality of being just a regular, normal person, but now having abilities, so you just try, like, it in that sort of way. Like, just that character, not the whole series, of course. Not that, but just Supergirl, the character, but vice versa, being a human with abilities, but instead of trying to understand being a human, you're trying to understand being normal to then fixing with, of course, what she gets, and later on, where it's like, because when you get to the finale, she has this breakdown moment, and it's almost like she just wished that she can just, like, almost be normal. Because, like, she...
Oh! Okay, also, you know the diner scene where Max was, like, arguing with herself?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention about that. I liked how there was a section where, like, that other version of her was like, oh, speak of the devil, and Chloe walks in. And it's not just a version of Chloe that starts shitting on Max, but she starts defending her. I was like, that has to be somehow like the Chloe that we know now. Like, there's no way that's one of these like this weird like trash talking version of Chloe that's
That
like
would be kind of cool, but they didn't do it. It's like, wait, Chloe does have powers. She just uses it and just get this all like Avenger like fight scene.
that would be so cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be so cool. No, but I thought that was really interesting was that they brought in Chloe in that moment, especially because it was in a moment where Max started really doubting herself. Because I mean, it's after she starts having all those weird things, like all the people that she's been around start talking absolute shit about her and everything, and then there's this just somehow randomly a version of one of the people that she knows and is really close to comes in and starts defending her. Like that was so cool.
Like I
I
like she's
love that.
I was like, speaking of the devil, I just when I thought I was like, wait, are you an alternate reality of her, or you're like the demon?
I'm curious if it was something about like
She's
because they
actually the
did say that it was like, well, I'm you, dumbass. Like, and then it was just like she added on with like, well, past version of you that you left behind, and I was like, okay, is this some weird time loop that you somehow managed to meet yourself in?
I
Like,
thought
what the
like
fuck is happening?
I just thought, what if she like did so
I
much? Like this? Okay, I know in Supergirl now route. Now I'm thinking Flash making
I
reality.
started thinking about this actually in that moment. I don't think it was a version of Max from a version that she left behind as a past self.
Mhm.
Because you got to think about this. This was right after her having all of the people
Oh, yeah.
that
Hang on. Sorry.
was talking
wait.
trash and everything.
Wait, before we continue on, for people that stayed this long, we appreciate the support. Leave, like and subscribe. But continue.
Yes, please. Um,
Continue on if you thought.
but I think it was a version of Max who was doubting herself because she was having all those like versions of like Chloe, Warren, even a lot of these other characters that she's been around with throughout the game, and
What I thought
they
in
were
that,
all talking trash to her.
you know what I thought in that scene where you're walking through all the things you did.
That was cool.
That was cool. I thought we were seeing a different her in her perspective. She's watching this like she's watching outside of time, and she's seeing.
I think that's what happened. I think when okay, so you know when she passes out and Chloe like holds her and it's like, I got you. I'm always gonna have your back or whatever. And then it starts doing the whole bunch of weird time shit. I think Max had overused her power so much that she managed to accidentally go in time in a sense that she was in the time stream itself. From when she first woke up in class or whatever and she first started being like, "Oh, what's happening? Didn't I just go through this? What's going on?"
I mean,
To like her going to like where Chloe is literally carrying her basically up to the lighthouse.
isn't it? That's the other thing. It's something about the lighthouse.
I honestly thought that was gonna crush them both. Because if that was where they were going, and there was a section in the beginning of the game where the top of the lighthouse gets hit with a boat and it falls and almost crushes Max.
I mean, they do.
I was like,
later,
don't tell me they're both gonna just die.
But later in the, I mean, we watched the other games. They go back reflecting, but it's like, in a way, they don't describe this. Like, I wonder if the lighthouse is some kind of metaphor that the game's been trying to tell you, but they don't. You don't see it or understand it. Because when you watch more of it, it's gonna pop up again, and be like, okay, what's with the lighthouse? Something about the lighthouse. Because it's like,
Well, I mean,
oh, no what? Because I don't know if he did the playthrough, there's a DLC of them when they were young, and it's like how they kind of grow this friendship. And I wonder that's what it reveals more puzzles or more answers.
I'd have to see. Again, I only just finished like the first
Well, you
game.
did the main thing. It's just like I forgot there
Yeah.
was. I didn't play it, but there's like a little DLC.
I'm not quite sure if he did the DLC yet. I could be wrong. Maybe he has, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. But
you don't. I mean, you could go for that, or if not, just go to the next one, just double exposure. Anyway,
I mean, I'm gonna eventually go through all of them. So
thanks for tuning in. Came this long, we appreciate it. Leave a like and subscribe. We thank you so much. And we'll try to keep these going.